I want to live a safe and clean life, eat gourmet food, go out, wear pretty things, and live a luxurious life, all at the expense of someone else. I have an idea. I'll become a refugee. Well, that's what the text says on an illustration by a Japanese right-wing artist criticizing fake refugees. More than 10,000 people have now signed a Change.org petition to a Japanese artist urging Facebook to take this down, calling it racist and insulting, and especially bearing in mind that the cartoon drawn around this text uses a copy of an image used by Save the Children of an actual refugee, a Syrian migrant girl, taken in a refugee camp in Lebanon. So this is called a manga cartoon. They're political cartoons drawn in Japan. This particular artist, Toshika Hasumi, she has been unapologetic over the image, but she is claiming that she says her motivations for posting it were correct. She believes that there are fake refugees who are taking advantage of the Western world's generosity. She says, I draw many political mangas, and she thinks it's just left-wing activists that are targeting her to ask for it to be taken down. Save the Children have come out and they have said that they are saddened by the whole thing. Here's a quote from Save the Children. It says, "To use this image out of context and in a way that is hugely disrespectful to the girl, her family, and all refugees is not acceptable." Interestingly enough, Facebook did not take this down. This petition group called Don't Allow Racism, they said that Facebook must recognize an illustration insulting a Syrian refugee as racism, but Facebook didn't. They didn't take it down. The artist herself decided to take it down, even though she remains adamant that there are these fake refugees taking advantage of people. Is there any truth behind this?
I think it's racist, Joe. I think that what she's doing is very racist, and this poor child, unfortunately, she's become the meme or the face of her campaign. It's interesting that Facebook didn't take it down, though. That's bizarre that it ended up being pressure on the artist, or I hate to call her an artist, but the creator of this content. That's the only bizarre thing to me about this story.
When you think about her claims, her accusation about these fake refugees, it does seem feasible that there may be a small handful of scammers amongst these people, but we are obviously talking about millions of people who have been displaced from their homes, people who are fighting for their life, trying to leave this civil war, and literally putting their lives and their families' lives at risk in doing so. And we've seen the horrors, we've seen the horrible pictures, and there's absolutely no way that these people can be accused of being fake. But there have been the occasional image that has come out of Syria of, for example, refugees with an iPhone in their hand. And it does seem that it's these images that could cause an artist like this to take things out of proportion and assume that there might be many more people who are potentially taking advantage of the situation. She did admit that she was trying to be provocative by using the image of a young girl. She said she knew that if she drew an old man, it wouldn't have gained attention. And she said she's not denying that there really are some miserable refugees, but she says that there are fake refugees pretending to be like victims, acting for their own benefit and exploiting media attention.
I mean, that has to be true, that there are refugees that are seeking status for reasons other than they absolutely need it. And, there is an element of truth, too. There are a couple of bad eggs in any basket. But to paint the entire crisis in such a way that it changes the narrative about these people who legitimately need help, that's really wrong.
Well, it also comes at a time when Japan is coming under fire. Japan is caught up in this international debate over how to handle the refugee crisis. And there was outrage across Japan over this cartoon, which I think is obviously a good thing. But while Japan has pledged to contribute $810 million to help the Syrian refugees and the Iraqi refugees, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has basically said that he's not going to be taking any of those displaced into Japan. And that's caused a lot of outcry. Obviously, a lot of countries in Europe are coming together with these figures and taking refugees in. But Japan, as yet, has only accepted 11 of 5,000 potential asylum seekers. And they've said that they're not going to take in any more. So highly controversial. First of all, Japan in this international debate over what it is going to do in the refugee crisis, donating money, is that enough, or should Japan be doing the same as many other countries, especially in Europe, and taking in refugees? And what do you think of these claims by this artist that there are fake refugees amongst the real refugees taking advantage of the situation? Is she just a fool? Is she an idiot, possibly doing things for publicity, or does she have some kind of a point? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and please keep watching TLN News for more.